Hey, welcome to part 3. This part is going to cover deep play out of position, deep stack play out of position, and as you see I got a image here of a little baby playing, and I think that's, I put this here because that's sometimes how it can feel playing deep stacked and out of position. It's an extremely difficult part of heads up sit and goes, but at the same time, we can still show profit in some situations, and obviously we have to play out of position. It's just part of the game. One thing to consider here, second point here, is if the stacks are infinite, like if you have an infinite number of big blinds, you have millions and millions and millions of big blinds effectively, what hands are we playing out of position? And the correct answer is only aces. That's just because since we're at a positional disadvantage, we are forced to only play the absolute nuts, because if we 3-bet kings in that situation, I mean, we're only going to get action from worse hands if all the money does happen to go in with infinite stacks. Now, fortunately, we are never playing infinite stacks, and in turbo speed and rake speed, it very rarely gets past 75 big blinds, depending on most site structures. If you're playing some sort of deep stack format, you will come across situations where you start 100 big blinds deep or deeper, and again, that is a very tricky part to play. So there are many different opinions on how to construct out of position or OOP calling in 3-bet ranges, and I'm going to give you my opinion. I think the way I do this is fairly standard. Certainly, I think I'm a bit more on the aggressive side than a lot of opponents, but I think that is kind of a big key in heads up sit and go. Staying aggressive, not kind of sitting back and waiting for hands, because anyone can do that, and if that worked, there'd be a lot of nits with a lot of money, and that is very rarely the case. So, some considerations when we're playing out of position is how often is our opponent opening? How big are they opening? How are they playing post-flop? How do they react to 3-bets? Do they call? Do they fold? Do they 4-bet? And one thing I don't have on the slideshow is, are they limping a lot? Do they have a distinct limping and raising range? That's certainly something to be considered when we're deciding how we're going to construct our 3-bet and our calling ranges versus a player's opening percentage. There really is a lot of factors to think about, and some other factors that we can decide on is that can influence our decision is just the general game flow. If an opponent lost a big hand previous, raises pre, in general, that's not a fantastic spot to execute some sort of 3-bet bluff, because you're going to get their 4-bet jam range is likely to be slightly wider than normal if they had just lost a big pot. So there's a lot of factors like that we got to consider when we're constructing these ranges.